Stampers, it's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers, and I am back today with another video in my Stamping Basics series that's all about the Big Shot. Now this is the second one having to do with the Big Shot. We've already talked about embossing folders, so if you missed that one, make sure you go back and find it. But today I really want to take the mystery out of what's the difference between a Thinlit and a Framelit, and what platforms do I use? I know it can be so confusing for a new person to the Big Shot, or even people like me that have been around for a long time. Sometimes I really have to stop and think. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I have a set of dies here. This particular one is called Eclectic Layers Thinlits, and it goes with the Oh So Eclectic stamp set. Now, I picked this one to share with you because this die set is kind of a fun one, and there's several that are like this, that when they coordinate with the stamp set, sometimes they cut images out. You know, for instance, this piece, I'm sorry, we probably got a little bit of a glare. This piece here will cut out this flower or this flower. We've got, you know, this leaf that'll cut out these, but then we also have some dies that don't really correspond, so to speak, to a specific stamp, okay? So it's kind of, they're fun to play with because you have so many options. Now, hang in with me because I have a whole bunch of cards that I'm going to share with you, but we want to talk first just the difference between Thinlits and Framelits. Now, when you look at your catalog, some of them do say Thinlits, some of them say Framelits, some of them say edgelets. You know what? I use the words interchangeably. Thinlits, Framelits, whatever. But I think, and I'm not even 100% sure, but the technical difference is a Framelit would be like this one. It frames an image. So if you stamp this flower and you cut it out with this, it's a Framelit. It's basically an outline. There's no detail in it. Where a Thinlit would be more these type of dies that have lots of little parts and pieces. And then they kind of even go, and they'll call some of them even more detailed Thinlits, I believe. And if you look in the catalog here, they do give you some really good sandwiches. Detailed dies, which are really kind of the Thinlits. Yes, Thinlits, and then embossing dies would be a little bit more your Framelits. But I like to just think of it as either detailed or a Framelit, so it's more just an outline. Now, here's the keys when we're talking about the Big Shot. When you purchase a Big Shot, and it's been this way now for a couple of years, it comes with the Big Shot platform and a thin die adapter. And if you look on the thin die adapter, it will tell you, use this with Thinlits, Framelits, and edgelets. Okay, we need to give it just a little bit more thickness before we make our sandwich. Now, there's also the magnetic platform that you can purchase. And in all honesty, I probably use my magnetic platform even when I don't really need the magnetic component of it, because the magnetic platform is the same thickness. Now that's kind of warped underneath, but if you were to go like this, it is the same thickness as the Big Shot platform with the thin die adapter. So when you're using the thin dies, okay, Framelits, edgelets, Thinlits, when you're using these and you use the magnetic platform, you do not need the thin die adapter. So it's either these two pieces or this piece. Now, next we need to make our sandwich. So if it is a outline die, okay, so it could be really any of these, we're going to go ahead, use our platform. We would put down a clear plastic plate. Now this one's kind of warped here, but that's okay. We put our cardstock down, and then we would put, let's use this one here. We would put our dies on here. Now if it's magnetic, it should hold it there. And then go ahead, put your other sandwich on top of it and run it through the Big Shot. So essentially you're just getting an outline. Now, here's the difference. If you are doing a detailed die, okay, so any of these, here we're going to want to use what's called the precision base plate. Now, there's a little bit of different opinions on this, I guess. Some people say you cannot use it with a magnetic platform. That is not true in my opinion. You can use it either with the magnetic platform or these two pieces combined, whatever your preference is. You just need to be really careful that when you go, because this is metal, when you go to put it on top of here, watch your fingers because it snaps down and it's hard to get apart. I have to twist it to get it apart because of that magnet in there. Now the precision base plate replaces the bottom clear cutting plate, and this is what will help when you're cutting these very detailed dies. So for instance, I've already cut this one here, so I would put my cardstock on top of that. I would put my detailed die. Now this one's a little unique because if I was to just cut there, it cuts like on this card. Okay, it does not cut out the whole flower, but see the detail? And then you can combine it with this one, and this is always a puzzle to me to figure out which way this goes. There we go. When you stack these two dies together, this is what you get. So it's a detail die. So we're going to want to use that. We're going to cut or put a clear plate on that, and then I'm going to run this through the Big Shot for you. Here we go. So when we take these apart, okay, you can see it did cut out all of that. Now this one, see how easily that fell out? If I would have used just a clear cutting plate, it probably wouldn't have fallen out and I would have had to poke at it and try to get it to come out. The other thing that I use all the time is the Big Shot die brush. Now this one fell out, so sometimes they still stick, so you'd put it right on there and you brush over it and it'll fall out. And you can also use this to go over your piece, and look at how easy all those little pieces come out. Now if any little stragglers are in there, I like to just use a little piercing tool, pop them out, and there's our detailed die. Now I feel like we're kind of talking in circles here, but the whole idea, and we'll just kind of recap here, is with the thin dies, whether they're Thinlits or Framelits or Edgelets, your base needs to be either magnetic platform or thin die adapter with the regular platform that comes with it. Then next, if it's detailed, use the precision base plate, either on the magnetic or on here. It can go on either one, and then plastic on top. If you're using an outline die, then we're not going to use the precision base plate. We're going to use clear plastic and cardstock, die, clear plastic. And this can go either here or here. So I hope that helps make a little bit of sense out of your Thinlits and your Framelits. If you are an avid Big Shot user, the magnetic platform and the precision base plate are really something you absolutely want. Makes life so much easier. The magnetic one is great when you're stamping an image. Like on this card, I've stamped that image and then cut it out with this. When you're using the magnetic platform, your stamped image goes down. This will stay put. You can see how it stays put on there. It just helps line stuff up. Plus, in all honesty, I use that one all the time because then I don't have to deal with the thin die adapter. Now, as you can see, these plates are quite used. These plastic plates, you're going to want to rotate them. Cut on this side, cut on that side, this side, that side. I was kind of bad on this. Well, we did move them around a little bit. You want to try to not always be in the exact same spot. And then also think of these plates. They're really disposable. You do need to change them out. Eventually, these just get so bad and so warped. Buy some new ones, and oh my gosh, the first time's really scary because it's like, oh, I don't want to make cuts in there. But new cutting plates are awesome when you get them. Okay, now I promised you I would show you some samples with this oh so eclectic. Now, there's a few colors and ribbons that are retired on here, and I apologize for that. These are some older cards, but I just wanted to show them to you because you can still get the stamp set and the dies. And I will have pictures of all these cards in the blog post that goes with this video, so you can go take a look at them. But here you can see this is the one that just cut out the flower, and if you don't stack them with this one, it just cuts out of the inside here. These flowers were stamped and cut out. The leaves were stamped and cut out. This, I love the, I don't know what you call that shape. but you can see how that also just cuts out of a paper to make a great background. And then if you really want to, I think I have one in here, you could take your little snips and cut around here and cut that out, and look at, you can have a add-on piece like so. This is probably my favorite. We've actually cut out both of these. So we did the framelit, okay, don't use a precision plate, and then we've done this detail one with the precision plate, and after they were cut out, we stacked them to get the two tones there. This one is just stamped, okay, and here we've got some stamped and some cutting. This stamp set really is fun. I love the eclectic look of it with the couple of different styles, the bold and the detailed. Oop, that's upside down. Got some great little words. Here's just some pieces cut out and some stamping. So remember, this video truly was all about figuring out what platforms to use and, you know, making sure you're using the right sandwiches when you're using Thinlits or Framelits. Now, someone did ask me, why can't I just use this all the time and then I don't have to think? Only use this with these really detailed dies, because when you're using your outline ones that don't have all the detail in it, it will warp these, okay? That's why they really don't recommend using that. Go ahead and go to this clear plastic because it's got that little bit of give in there. And one more tip here. These are just magnet sheets. I like to, when I'm working with a die set, I will put them all on here so that I can see what I've got. The other little tool, this is a magnetic little bowl that came from Harbor Freight. I love this when I'm using a few dies. I can't even get these off of here. You know, you take a set out and you're using it, you can plop them in here. It's a good way to put them in something so you lose them as you're working with them, especially some of these little tiny ones. So that was a lot. If you guys have questions, make sure you ask. I want to help you. And if you don't have a big shot yet, it's definitely one of those things that all crafters need. It is a fabulous tool between all the dies and the embossing folders. It changes the way your cards look in so many ways. It's really hard for me to make a card without using the Big Shot. So questions, make sure you leave me a comment and ask. I'm here to help you. You may email me, contact me. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator and help you order all of your Stampin' Up! Products. If you need a catalog, I'll be happy to send that to you too. Just let me know. So until I get to share with you again, have a stamp happy day.